I think I kind of like episode 6. That's a weird feeling. Is it perfect? Oh, no, of course not. But still, let's talk about it. Hello friends, and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. 2 weeks ago, episode 6 of the third season of Star Trek Discovery aired. It was called Scavengers, and these are my honest opinions about it. I honestly like parts of this episode, but it's definitely far from perfect. To be honest, the intro montage kind of makes me pretty damn angry. I mean, we see a montage of the Discovery being upgraded, both on the inside and on the outside, and we see a thing which probably most people won't care about, but for me it's a thing for which somebody should be fired. Why was the registry of the Discovery changed to an A? So is this suddenly a brand new Discovery? Do they not understand that the registry number should never change unless it's a brand new ship? I have a feeling that somebody from the team has seen one of the real Star Trek movies and remembered that the new Enterprise is not NCC 1701 but NCC 1701A, and also remembered that some people mentioned an Enterprise refit, so he or she thought that the refit Enterprise is the Enterprise A. Well, no, the refit Enterprise still was the NCC 1701. The NCC 1701A was a completely different ship, which they got at the end of Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. As I said, the majority of people will not care, but people like me will be pissed, and they even detach the ship's warp nacelles. That's kind of idiotic, but the explanation is even worse. It should improve the movement and efficiency in the vacuum of space, but what's going on inside is probably even dumber. The bridge crew is now receiving new comm badges, but not new uniforms, so they keep the 23rd century uniforms in combination with futuristic comm badges. Is it more complicated to create uniforms than to create the miracle badges? Or are they trying to let every other officer to know that they are different? Isn't the reason for the existence of uniforms to be, well, uniform, as in everybody in Starfleet should wear the same outfit? Also, speaking about the comm badges, they are now magic tools, because the writers and producers of New Trek don't know the differences between Star Trek and Harry Potter, or the differences between science fiction and fairy tales. We have seen magic wands on Picard, and now we see magic badges on Discovery. These new magic badges also function like tons of other pieces of hardware, including the tricorders, and what's even worse, a personal transporter. Yes, that tiny device can somehow scan the status and position of every atom of the body on which it is hanging on, store it somewhere, somehow generate enough energy to vaporize the original body, including itself, and after it no longer exists, it somehow manages to recreate an exact duplicate of the body and an exact duplicate of itself. Yes, that thing also can destroy itself, and after it doesn't exist anymore, it's still working. And the user can set the coordinates where he or she wants to send his or her copy to, including checking if the coordinates are safe, by simply gently tapping it once. I'm sorry if I sound like a nitpicker, but I really like my tech to make sense, and crap like this seriously pisses me off. Do you remember when real Star Trek had science advisors? You know, people paid for throwing out nonsense like this? When I was a kid, I thought that it would be cool to have diagnostic beds and tools which would allow you to inject the medicine into your body without needles, and that one day I will have a cool thing which will allow me to talk to whoever I want to talk after I simply pull it out of my pocket and open it. Something like a walkie-talkie crossed with a telephone. Years later, when I was a teenager, I was hoping that somebody will one day invent these tiny computer-like things which will be able to transfer audio and digital video, and also record audio logs, or read a lot of text. I also was hoping that one day I will be able to have these portable pad-like mini computers, which will also allow you to read and write digital text. Their equipment was also upgraded with programmable matter, and they don't tell it to the crew. They don't get any special training. You know, this is kind of important, isn't it? How should they do their duties without proper equipment and proper training? But anyway, I guess we should talk about the actual plot, right? Admiral Jewish Man says that the Discovery might be sent on a mission within the next 12 hours, so they should be prepared. And meanwhile, the discount Millennium Falcon, which belonged to Book, somehow finds the Discovery. Interesting. The only reason why I say it's interesting is that the Discovery needed a whole subplot to get the coordinates of Starfleet headquarters, but Book's ship finds them immediately without any problems. So never in the history did some enemy of Starfleet or the Federation manage to give some tracking device to any of the remaining ships so that they can find the headquarters too? Or did the writer again forget what happened in the previous episodes? Or is this again a result of the rumored rewrites and reshoots? The Discovery hails the discount Millennium Falcon and they get greeted by Book's cat. And we are now forced to suffer through a huge amount of anti-feline jokes and anti-fat jokes. Hey, I thought that leftists think that fat phobia is a bad thing. Spoiler from a fat person, no, it isn't. And that body positivity is a good thing. Again, spoiler from a fat person, no, it isn't. Why does nobody cancel them on Twitter for insulting this poor kitty? By the way, I have seen much more obese cats. This one is just big. And some of the insults make no sense. For example, saying that the cat has her own gravitational pull. Is that supposed to be funny or insulting? Because of course she has her own gravitational pull. Everybody and everything has its own gravity. Did the writer fail at school? Anyway, they find a hologram from Book. He says that he found a black box of one of the ships which blew up during the so-called burn and is about to get it, and he programmed the ship to return to the Discovery if he doesn't return. So of course Michael wants to rescue him, but Saru says no. Everybody says that she's a great Starfleet officer and that she has changed, so what does she do? She steals Book's ship and together with the Empress go to rescue him. Because that's all she is. She fails to obey even the simple commands like stay. I mean, even dogs know what the stay command means. Come on, woman. So from now on the story changes to an escape from the prison type of story. We see that the Empress has some mental issues. She has flashbacks to some bloody scene. So I hope that we will see in the future episodes what has David Cronenberg done to her. They arrive to the industrial planet and talk to the Orion Keeper. Because he's a man, it means that he's an idiot and he falls for their plan. And based on how the Empress is dressed, how she behaves to him and how he lets her, it feels like an intro to some dominatrix porn flick. When they meet with Book, one other prisoner steals water, so the Orion lets him run to the fence, and when he runs through the force field which creates the fence, his head explodes, and it's one of the funniest head explosions I have ever seen. To be honest, I am only now learning Blender, but I think even I could do something which looks much better than this. This was really unintentionally funny. I recommend watching the episode Conspiracy from The Next Generation. There is a head explosion too, and that one looks terrifying, and it was made in 1988. So why don't they beam back to the ship and beam Book up to and run? I guess they want to pretend they're the good guys, or good girls, or whatever the politically correct term is, I don't care. But they decide to get to the controller from the Orions, so of course they beat the crap out of them, steal the remote control, turn the force field off, everybody runs away, and only now they save Book and his Andorian friend, who got shot when he wanted to save him. So, Book is saved, and he even gave her the black box, so we have a happy ending. Well, the beginning of the episode was kind of crap, but the whole escape from the prison subplot was pretty good, and it ended with a great action scene. Wait, the story ended. So why the hell does it continue for 15 more minutes? So we get to watch a lot of bull feces for 15 minutes. Why? Why do they torture us? The only important thing is that the Empress collapses and is forced to admit she doesn't know what is going on with her, and that Saru finally punishes Michael. Finally! During the whole 3 seasons, she disobeys orders and sometimes even commits crimes and usually gets rewarded for it. So now she finally goes to jail for disobeying a direct order and endangering their real mission, right? Or no, she just gets demoted from first officer to science officer. What? That's a punishment for disobeying a direct order, deserting, and endangering the real mission? Okay. And Saru looks like he will start crying. What the actual duck? And we see more bullcrap. We see Adira, because of course she is important for reasons. She talks to herself and Stamets sees her doing it. Then she tells him that she's talking to her dead boyfriend, who is sitting next to her, and he doesn't send her to his doctor, husband slash boyfriend slash friend slash lover slash civil partner slash pal to check her mental state, because she's obviously insane and should be isolated. Even if she is not insane, she should definitely be under medical observations, right? Well, instead, this insane person is allowed to upgrade their spore drive. Is everybody on the ship an idiot? Well, yes it is, but still. Is everybody on the show an idiot? And Stamets thinks that she's fine. These people are not normal. So, better than the previous episodes, but still pretty dumb. What I like the cat, I like the running gag with the lizard guy, who I think is called Linus. He's randomly transported to different parts of the ship in the most inappropriate times. It is actually funny. I also like the whole middle part, during which they go to save Book. Finally, an action sequence during which I was actually interested in what was going on, and I felt genuine happiness when they got saved. Me feeling some positive emotions during watching Discovery is so rare that I have to cherish these moments. But I didn't like the beginning, the upgrades. By the way, why is this now the Discovery A when in the short track Calypso it wasn't an A, and Calypso takes place after season 3? The last 15 minutes were boring and stupid. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give the intro and the ending 1 out of 10, and the book subplot 7 out of 10, which means overall I would give this episode 4 out of 10. An almost average episode. If it didn't have so many stupid things in it, I would rate it much higher, because as I said, I really like the parts with Book. But as always, these were just my opinions. Let me know what did you think about this episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you think it was just fine? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon, hopefully tomorrow. Bye.